Good afternoon, everyone. It's Robin Carter with Robin's Creations. I'm in Flower Mound, Texas, and I'm finally here to share my final card we made with the Beyond the Horizon paper pumpkin kit. It's taken me a while to get this video. Life got busy, and anyway, I'm going to share that with you today. If you are a subscriber of mine, thank you for subscribing to my channel, and I'd appreciate it if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and hit the bell for notifications of when I have a new video. Stay tuned to the end of this video and I'll be sharing some projects I've been working on with the new kit that just came in this month, the April 2022 Changes Beautiful kit. So I'll preview a few of those for you, and then I will be doing videos on those hopefully starting tomorrow. So again, subscribe to my channel so you get notification of when those post. So let me show you what we did. So after we used all the components, the main thing I didn't use were the mountains. So I have my mountains over here somewhere. And so here is what I came up with. Basically using blending brushes and ink that I had on hand, creating my own scenery. So I did two kinds of cards. This one I didn't glue the mountains on yet. Because I wanted to be able to show you that this is just using paper pumpkin kits that I had from the past. And those are from, this is the March 2022. So it was an anniversary month as well, and we received this as a bonus. So I was able to use the grass here, and I put a bunny there for some interest. And then I also use this as like to give some texture in the grass. I think it's supposed to be rain puddles, but it worked. I thought it worked anyway. But if you haven't been a subscriber that long, and you've only been since last year, March of 22, you could easily use this as the grass and stuff as well. I did use this for the birds in the sky, and I stamped it and then fussy cut out the small tree. I thought the big tree was a little too big. So on this card, I used the products that coordinated with this month's kit that they said. It is the On the Horizon bundle. So I used the grass underneath here, and also the die cuts, which I thought I had those die cuts out here for the grass, and then also the fences. So if you're out of mountains and want to make this card on your own and have this bundle, then you can easily make your own mountains if you have this bundle with the dies, because there's a mountain die. Okay, so let's get started and let me show you how I made the background. So first of all, I like to start with a laminated sheet. If you have the silicone mat, that would work as well, but I can't see the ink as well there. So I like this laminated sheet. And then I have my bases cut already to 4 and 5 1/4. And then you want a scrap sheet of paper to use to block off sections. So I think this is one that I used before, and we can use it again. If you just have copy paper, which this is a scrap of copy paper where I'm messed up, that might work as well. The other thing that the grid line will help you do is keep your lines straight, like your horizon. So I'm using just some washi tape that I have kind of to hold that down on the line so that I have a equal line. So I'm just going to use this card and this card as an example. So this one, I started the grass further down to have more sky. And I mainly did that because I didn't have as many elements to put on it. So for this one, I'm going to start just a little higher. Again, I don't think it matters. You can kind of choose your preference. So I'm just going to put it about right there. I'm just going to put it on that line so I can make sure it's straight. Come over a little bit, give me a little wiggle room. And then I need more washi tape. The other thing the washi tape helps with is I can tape that to the laminated mat and it'll come up easy. For good measure, I'll go ahead and do this side. Okay. Okay, so that's how you get set up. I will take this off now, and I should have put that at the bottom if I'm going to start with a sky. So I'm just taking those off and I'm washing down the base that I'm going to start with. So I'm going to use my blending brushes, and if you've seen any of my videos, you know I have one for each color family, and it doesn't hurt. I never wash them. I just, when I'm done with a project, I go to my scrap paper and make sure it's all off. As you can see, there's staining, but there's no ink left. So you might want to test those if you're not haven't been cleaning yours off. So the colors I'm going to work with today are, I had those out too. Here they are. Okay, I'm going to use Calypso Coral for the center, like sunset or sunrise, however you want to look at that. Balmy Blue for the sky. And Old Olive or Pear Pizzazz. I'm going to try it with Old Olive. If you've been a Paper Pumpkin subscriber for a while, you may have Mossy Meadow. And if you did a light enough coat of it, that should work as well. Another thing I'm going to get out are some blocks just to put my ink on there. So let me grab those real quick. So I have my thinner Paper Pumpkin blocks or thinner blocks that I've received in kits that I usually use this for because I like to stamp with my more ergonomic blocks. They're easier to hold and stamp with, in my opinion. So let's get started with the blue. You know what? Maybe I should try to use a spot. Or let's see how Misty Moonlight works, as that is what was in our kit this month. Just have to changing my mind in case I don't think a lot of you have Balmy Blue. Okay, my Misty Moonlight. This might make a very dark sky, but we're going to try to see if we can light hand it. Let me test this. So I just put a little bit on there, and I'm going to pick some up and just rub it around my block. And let me test on this Paper Pumpkin. Is that if I use a very light hand, like barely just set it down, can I get a light blue color? And I think I can. So let's give that a try on this, since you may only have this blue color. All right, I'm going to start off on my laminated paper and then just very lightly put down a coat of blue. This is working better than I thought it would. I thought it would be way too dark. And then I can pick up some more. And go very lightly on this area because it's where we're going to add our sunset or sunrise. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. That's just something on there. All right, well, that was a nice surprise. Now we're going to get our Calypso Coral and we're going to make the sunset. So I'm going to set this aside so I don't get blue all over. And find another block. Here's one where I have some color on it dried. I'm just going to get my water and spray it over my there. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get some Calypso Coral. And I'm going to get my orange brush. think I got way too much ink. The good thing about your scrap paper here is you can kind of test it. All right, so now I'm going to go off the scrap paper very gently. You can always add more ink. You can't take it away. So add a little more ink. And it may not look like much there because we have our scrap paper on, but that is starting to look great. So I'm going to add just a little more color. You can do this to your liking. And you want to go a little bit to the side because your mountains are going to cover most of that up. So let me test how that's going to look. Yeah, I think I need to go a little higher so it shows up above the peak of the mountain. This is one of those processes that's slow and easy win the race. Okay, let's see how that looks. Our mountains go there. I think I'm going to like that. Just a little hint of orangey pink. And I have plenty of orange left to do the others. So if you have been following my alternates for the paper pumpkin kit, then you should have 3 mountains left. And you'll make 3 of these cards. So now we have our sky done. I'm going to pick this up. Doesn't that look neat? I like that. And then we're going to switch. So let me see if I have inky fingers. I don't want to mess it up now with inky fingers. Hopefully that's just dry. Okay, so pick up your washi. You could move this on your mat. It doesn't matter now because you're going to cover that up. I still like to use the lines on the grid paper to help me there. Okay, so now we're going to cover up our sky piece. I think that's good. And if you don't get it all the way to the end, you'll see at the end, this is where I like to use copy paper better because it's very thin and hopefully you won't have a white line. All right, so now we're going to go with Old Olive. I need another block, don't I? Let me get one more. Here we go. Well, I have this huge block that since I got my Stamparatus, I don't tend to use this anymore. And if you're making these and you only have your one block, then make all your sky and your sunrise and then your grass so that you can clean those off each time. So I'm probably gonna make a big mess with this. All right, there's some green. Let me close these up before I get ink everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this here so you can see the green. Now I need my green brush. And I'm gonna test it here. Okay, so I think that's good. I'm gonna start off on my mat because down here, if it's strong, I'm gonna cover it up anyway with my grass. So again, just barely putting the brush down. I'm not really applying any pressure whatsoever. And this one's easy. You can just go all over. The other thing I like about using this laminated mat is that you can re-pick up color that has gone to the side. Let me get a little more off the block over here. Again, I'm going to start. I'm going to apply a little heavier back here. Okay, I think I'm gonna like that. So let's call that done. I see I've got a little bit of white right there. So I'm gonna try to put some green in there. Okay. All right, so now just be careful because your laminated mat will be all inky. So I take my water, give it a good spritz, and then as you can see, this paper towel lasts me for several projects. Okay. So I may still work on this. Make sure it's dry. All right, so there is our basic background. So I'm going to make these like this one with my supplies here. Again, you could easily substitute this grass here or the grass I showed you before if you've been a Paper Pumpkin subscriber for a while. I guess that wasn't on camera. This grass from the Here's to You 2021 or this grass. Okay, I'm going to use my one from On the Horizon. And this one's a little big, but I found it will fit on a D block. You do it sideways like that. So I'm going to use Old Olive here. Okay, and I'm gonna, this one I did up a little bit and I kind of like that. You could go all the way down to the bottom. Maybe I'll do that too this time. Okay, so there's our grass. And again, before I clean my stamps, I like to stamp it off on scratch paper. That way your chamois don't get as inky so quick and you need to go wash them. Okay, and the other set I'm using that coordinated with this kit is the Ocean Front set. And I'm going to use that for these taller grasses, which I think I'm going to fill in this area here. May not be necessary, a rock might cover it up. And the grass piece here. So one tip, so if you buy any regular stamp sets from Stampin' Up, they now put the, I can't get that off. That's okay, I need that rock. They put the image there, and then you stick your images back onto the case itself. Now sometimes your photopolymers won't stick as well, like this one's not sticking as well. And all that means is that it needs cleaned off. You could run it under water. I just use my chamois, and then it sticks much better. But sometimes if they come loose and I open my case, they fall out. So I save this heavier acetate paper that they give us, and I put that over the stamps. That way it's going to hold them in place. And yes, they do stick to it when you're trying to get them off, but I'm okay with that. I would rather they stick than they fall off and then I'm looking on the floor for them, because some of them do get tiny. All right, so let me clean off the grass so it sticks well to my little block. And I'm just going to randomly stamp. Although since this tree takes up so much area, I'm going to do it first. Sorry about that. It's from the On the Horizon kit. Right here. And I may have to take this off. And on these, I always keep the rubber piece that comes in with your stamps and then put them in that way. Now, as you can see, I've been lazy and I haven't put a lot of my labels on. But when I do, I take the backing that the sticker's on, this part, and I put it inside. That way when I go to pick it up, it's not stuck so hard to the case that you can't grab it. So that's just another tip there. back to stamping, done with tips for a minute. All right, so I'm just going to freehand the tree. Make sure I got it all inked up because it's a one-time stamp. I hope. All right, we're going to commit, and that's it. We'll give it a second just to make sure the ink is soaked in. Now, if you've been around a long time, you may still have a Stamp-A-Majig. So I'm going to put that in the corner just in case it didn't get ink well. And that's very inky, which is nice. Okay, so now on to our grass. And if you want this a little lighter, you can stamp off. That was way light. I may just go for it. And again, I'm just randomly putting this grass around. No real formula for that. I'm wondering, you know what, I'm not going to mess that up. I think I'd mess it up. Especially trying to do this on video, I had to get right over the top of it. But that'll be fine. Again, I'm going to stamp off on scrap paper before I clean it off. Okay, done with that. And never take your stamps off your block unless you're going to put them away, because they go missing. I wonder if maybe this grass would look good there. It's kind of big. Let's put that there, see what it looks like. Again, we're just building a scene. It's nature, so there's no wrong. Okay, I like it. Stamp off, and then I can clean it and put it away. Okay, so now back to our birds. So I'm using the ones from On the Horizon. Again, if you have this kit and you're only a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, these are the birds you would use. And for those, what I did, since there's only 2, I just turned where they're not all going the same way to make them look more random. There's that. Did I clean this? If you're not sure, do it again. My chamois is very well loved, as you can see. Whoops, I just put that on my green. Let me clean that off before I get everything green. Just in case. Don't want to do this over my project because I don't want to get it wet. Clean off my block. And I'm going to clean this big block because I'm done with my green. I don't want to get ink everywhere. Okay. All right, so our birds. I did put the sticker on this one because I wanted to make sure I didn't do my birds upside down. And I did those in a basic gray. I do have an ink spot, but I have the big ink pads. Had to grab that behind me. And I like using those. Now this is the new style of pads. I think the other 2 I have been using were the old style. Now I really like the new style. Let me just show you. That is very flat ink pad. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put my phone on silent. And here's the old ink pad, and it's just not as flat sometimes. I don't know why. I mean, it works, but I do like this new style. So let's ink up our birds. And with the foam, the cling stamps, they already have the foam. So when you go to put your birds down, you want to use just a gentle pressure on the ink pad and on your paper. You don't want to smush. because if you got any ink around there, it would get on your paper. So that looks good. I'm going to stamp off and then clean this and put it away. Well, I can put it away later. I think that's all stamping for this card. So now we just have to add our mountains. Now I did find the glue dots very helpful in applying the mountains. Let me take my pick tool. Put some there. There. Just have noises all over for you today. Mute my computer because it then sent me a notice that I had a phone call. Hopefully that didn't mess up the vid. No, I still see the audio panel working. That's good. All right, so now I'm going to pick these off. Let me close my basic gray. I can see it just, it's wanting to jump onto the card everywhere. Probably didn't need all those glue dots, but better that it stays than comes up. And then I just centered this on my scene right on the horizon line. If you have to error down, because you don't want sunrise coming from the bottom of your mountain. Okay, and then if I can find it again, now that I've moved stuff here and there, I will put the green, there it is, the green on top of that. And this one really needs glue dots because it's so tiny. No way. I guess liquid glue with refined tip would work good. I'm going to try to find, you know what? That probably is the best idea. So I'm going to get my Tombow multi-purpose glue that I've put into a fine tip bottle. Go ahead and take that sticker off. So I'll be ready to stick it down. And I'm just going to put little tiny drops of glue on the bottom. And I may do this one on the mountaintops just to keep it down. Okay. Glue. And I really, here they are. I want to find my little tweezers for this because it's so teeny and my big fingers would get all over. So I'm just going to stick this down in the center like that. Okay, I'm going to see if I can doctor up that mountain to stay down with my glue. This little ridge I want to poke up. Just a tiny amount of glue. Hold it down for a second. Okay, my glue is kind of oozed there. Let me see if I can rescue it with my adhesive remover. Again, just be very gentle because these die cuts from the kit are delicate. Okay, so there is that. And I added the fence. And I'll show you what I did with this fence. I might as well. Okay, so got green there. I need to be careful. All right, clean that up. Okay, so I gave the fence some texture, and I used the stamp with it on the horizon kit. This wood paneling. Oh, good, there's 2 rocks. I'll use those. Okay, and I think I need my bigger block. or I'm going to use it anyway. All right, so this I am going to stamp on my scrap paper rather than my laminated one because the ink will go all over. And then I used Sahara Sand ink. So what I did is I just inked this up. My blending brush is out of the way. And let's see, I wanted the fence post going this way. So I just stamped right over the fence. And there you go. And this one is a little wider, but I found that I can get all but the two of them safely. And then it won't matter if you go over a little bit. So there's my distressed fence. All right, and then the rocks. So let me give you a hint. So I stamped these rocks on gray granite paper with gray granite ink. And then I fussy cut them where there's no white border. And then you just crumble them up in your hand and open them back up and re-crumble to get texture for your rocks. Now I had so here it is stamped. Here's not stamped. I had the Old World 3D embossing folder that I did these with, and it really gave it a nice look. But if you don't have that, you can just crumble them up in your hand and open them back up again and keep doing that until they're like you like it. All right, so I put my fence off on the card base. So I should have a card base ready to go over here. If not, I know where my stack is. There's one. All right, and again, tip on your card bases. Like I can tell this back hangs over just a hair because when I go like this, I'm not grabbing that. But when I go like that, I'm pulling that up. So this is going to be my front. Carefully remove the washi. And we're going to, that's sticky too. All right, we're going to adhere this to the card front. And again, I'm going to use my Tombow liquid glue. There it is. And I just put dots around the card. And I like using the Tombow glue because it gives me some wiggle room to get it centered on the card. Need to keep that upside down so the glue stays. All right, and then make sure you have your card base going the right way. I have put them on upside down before. And then just gently put that on and move it until you think you like the equal border around it. Now I can see one thing I added was the die cut of grass down here. And I will add that later. I don't want you guys to have to wait for me to get out that paper and run the die cut. So I'm just going to not adhere this part down. So before I glue, got ink all over me. I like to lay everything out like I want it. Oh, look, and I'll just cover up that one that I didn't like so much. And these fence do have direction. So as you can see, the top is pointed and the bottom is flat. And then the other tip with these is, you know, they're kind of wonky. I don't know how else to say that. So when I put this one on, I do it where it's straight and let those go as they may. All right, so that's pretty close. I'm gonna go ahead and glue my rocks down. Now, because of all the texture in these, I think liquid glue really does work the best. Sorry, I can't get that one up. I'll run it all the way down like I did that one. And this one. I'm gonna cover up the grass. oops, crooked rock. Let's get him going straight-ish. Okay. And then for my fence, I'm not done with you, glue. I am going to glue straight down the side. Let's see, I did that one all the way down. I think I like that. I want it over a little bit. I want it to go to the edge of my card. Whoop, I moved my rocks. And then let's glue this edge on this edge. Okay, and then I added a little dimensional under there. I guess I can go ahead and do that side. So here's what I did for that. My fingers are very sticky with glue. Okay, so I have my dimensionals. I think this is a good one because it has old bit. So these are teeny tiny. So I get my snip. First, telling you, my nails and everything are sticky. Okay, and then I just cut a fine line, went flying, and then I try as careful as I can to put that on the fence where it won't show. And then I try to curve it back up. Get that with my scissors. Curve it back up a little bit and then set it down. And that gives a little height to that. Like it's further away from the rock. You probably can't tell. But in person you can tell. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I'm not going to do the dimensional over here because later I'm going to add this little sprig of grass. But in those in my paper pumpkins, if you got the add-on kit, you should have some birds. And both those go the right direction. So let me find, add one that went the other direction. Here he is. So I really like these birds in Misty Moonlight. And this is from the Beauty of Friendship bundle that's available. The birds are, and I think it's a beautiful set. So get it while it's still a bundle, only for a couple of days. The new catalog will begin, I believe it's May 3rd. And everything on the last chance is going away on the 2nd. So be sure and finish your wish list with while items are either discounted as bundles or no longer here and it was on your wish list. All right, so birdie on the fence. I just think the birds made it. Ooh. Hello, stick to that, not me. Okay. And the last thing is just some clouds. Now I had some old die cuts that were a cloud, so I cut those for your add-on kit. You can fussy cut some, or if you already have your April kit, there are some clouds, and you could use the negative space as a template to trace and then cut out, or just cut you some clouds. That's not that hard. You know what? And after looking at this, I really like the Misty Moonlight sky. What do y'all think? Give me your opinion in the comments below. I'd love to hear. I mean, they're both fine. I just, after doing it, I thought, wow, that looks a truer blue. For my cloud. You could put these on dimensionals, but I'm going to make a crooked cloud. I'm going to just glue them down. Those of you that know me, that's probably shocking because I got glue all over my fingers. Trying to find a less sticky finger. Okay, so what do you think? And even if I don't add that grass, I think it's good. Now I did add some pebbles from the Pebbles enamel shapes. And I think I really like the brown. So I will put those on after I do my grass. So get these while they're still available as well, because they'll be great to use on this kit all throughout. All right, so there you go. Here's the one I made with just the paper pumpkin stuff that I had. I did cut out this cute little bunny and put him there. And that's it. So as I promised, let me set this aside. Well, it's still gluey and drying. I'm going to show you some previews of the April paper pumpkin kit, some alternates that I've done with those. So last month, ideas just kept flowing from that last kit. Excuse me. It's not a cat, it's a kit. I can't get my scissors back in. And this month I was slow going, but I just started working with it and it started coming to me. So here's what I did. Well, let me start off back with the ones that were like this kit. So here's one. I just made it a regular fold card. This one, I cut it in half. Card. That one's cut parts. And then I like to get well, this is mostly card kits. And then these. So check back with me later, and I'll be sharing videos of how I've made these alternates using components from the kit, including the envelopes that I've cut off. If you've missed my unboxing and want to see what's all in the April kit, then you can check my channel out and follow along with my unboxing that I did a week or so ago. So I hope you've enjoyed these cards. It was so fun working with that Horizon kit, and I kind of went overboard. We had close to 40 cards, I think, after we used all the envelopes. And the mountains, we hardly had any scraps left, so I still have to make one more scenery card with my mountains. And then I will be done with that kit. Kind of sad to see that one all done, but I enjoyed it while I can, and now on to new things, right? So, thank you for joining me. Again, thank you for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate you guys, and I love to hear your comments, or not hear your comments, read your comments below. So let me know what you think about this kit and the ideas I've had for it. Have a great day. Talk to you later.